So it's been a couple days. I've had time to rest, take not really a break from Destiny 2. I think like the next day I was actually in um, activities helping people raid in dungeon. Uh, but it's been at least a week as of recording this. This is going to be up tomorrow, Monday, the day before Edge of Fate drops. Um, I was originally going to record this like retrospective, just like my raw thoughts, unscripted, July 4th after I slept, because we started at 10 a.m. around 10 a.m. July 3rd. Um, and then it was a 21-hour, 32-minute live stream on went through the whole day, ended on the 4th. So originally I was going to go to sleep, wake up, and record my raw, unedited thoughts. But I wanted to, one, give it some time, and two, just not think about the marathon for a bit. Um, I think overall, I still had a lot of fun with it. I think overall, it is a fun activity. It definitely is a grind. I think the number one place where we went wrong was, at least for me, such a like restriction on the builds that I used. Um, you know, going through each activity, use forcing myself to use that activity's exotic, and then only being able to use weapons that drop from that activity. Um, and then if they don't have something filling it in later, it was such a like odd restriction. Like, it was a great challenge, don't get me wrong. Wonderful challenge to just do, right? Like, go through Vesper's host using Icebreaker, Chill Inhibitor, and then one white weapon to fill in the kinetic slot, or screwing Icebreaker and just using Vesper's host weapon, like, whatever. Um, I think it was a great challenge. Um, I think it is just a lot of fun to do fun stuff like that, like running through a raid using only raid weapons, or a dungeon using only the dungeon weapon. Like, I think it was a fun challenge, but I think for the marathon, it restricted a little too much, which definitely added on some time. I know there were a couple times where I was just on like Lord of Wolves or Queenbreaker. Um, we would have punched through DPS phases a lot faster. Um, had we been able to cheese Riven, that would have cut a lot of time off. Just like smaller things like that. But I think overall, still a fun thing. Um, I I am unsure about next year's marathon. It really does depend on this upcoming new raid and whatever dungeon or dungeons we get. There's like a lot to be discussed, like a lot to sit down and think about. And, like, for me as the one who plans it, there's a lot to go through for next year. I think one thing I would do, if um, if me, Kingto, and Rug stick on it as three people, if we do it again, I think. Sorry, my phone was buzzing. I think I would give us each a skip token. Uh, one activity, no matter what the others say, we just say I would like to skip this, and then we do that, and it's not an activity we do. Like, I enjoy Ghost of the Deep. I love the scenery. I think the encounters are interesting enough. I think especially with a team that you're used to, you can make any activity fun. And so if you don't have a team to like make Ghost of the Deep fun, I think that's a big hindrance on it, which is not on anyone specifically. But Ghost of the Deep is really far into the marathon, right? If we're doing every raid and dungeon in chronological order, and we, you know, have to wait until like the Year of Lightfall, like we do um, Root of Nightmares, and then we do Ghost of the Deep, that's like minimum 10 hours in, right? So it's a lot. It's a lot. So I think if we do it next year, I think, and this would have to be if King Toe and Rug join me. We would each get like one skip token, to be like, I like this activity, but it's too deep into the marathon. We're just gonna skip it. Or I think this one is really boring. I would probably skip Shattered Throne or Pit of Heresy. No specific hate to them. I just don't enjoy them as much personally. My favorite dungeons are Warlord's Ruin and Sundered Doctrine, and like, if I had to throw a third in there, it would be Ghost of the Deep because of the environments. So, long story short, I think if we were to do it again, the three of us, skip tokens. We would each get one, no questions asked, no ifs, ands, or buts. We would each skip one activity and just cut it out, right? Does that kind of defeat the purpose of the marathon? Yeah, but if we do this again and like nothing is sunset, it was 21 hours and 32 minutes this time. I think that is an egregious amount of time to be in this game. Outside of day one, right? I think Day One Salvations did take longer than that. Day One Salvations was over 24 hours. Uh, anyways, I think like just doing a challenge like that is just too long. So I think next year, if I were to change anything, it would be like 3 skip tokens for the core people doing it, and then I would not do a loadout challenge. I would definitely like, maybe for each activity we clear at a faster time, like anytime we shave off time from last year. What I want to do is turn the marathon into a charity stream. Sorry, I just had lunch. What I want to do is turn the marathon into a charity stream, so that way, it like all the money that goes towards the marathon will go towards something that matters a little more. um, that which is again just something to work towards in the future. So I think like that would be cool. And then like for anything we shave off, like anytime we shave off time from the year before, we donate like a little extra. It's again something to think about. There's no script here, by the way. I'm just raw reading. This is why I usually have this a deck of cards around me that these or Digimon cards I just kind of like shuffle because it helps me, like it gives me something to focus on with my hands, helps me like concentrate a bit. So if you see my hands moving or you hear something in the background, that's this like old ass deck of cards. I've had this for years. I've had this before the COVID pandemic, and it's now 2025. So like, long time to be having a shitty like $5 deck of cards like this. Anyways, so I think if we do it next year, I would walk in with optimized loadouts. I would not put that sort of hindrance on it. Neat. I think one thing we did great this year, we did a couple things great this year, right? I think we kept better spirits throughout the whole thing. I myself was still ready to go. I think the only reason I actually went to sleep that night was because I crawled in bed, which is above me, which saves space in the rest of the room. I'm still unpacking. There's a lot of stuff over on off camera that's been unpacked. It's just this stuff's still here. Anyways, yeah, like you can kind of see over here. There's like some stuff I need to hang up. That's like that was a fun one. And then under that, that's like color theory final that I'm actually super proud of. I'm gonna repaint that. It's a whole thing. And under that was this thing from my high school graduation. So like those 3 things still need to go up somewhere. And then I'm gonna put a futon back here just on days where I don't want to crawl out, like climb a ladder into bed. Room design choices later. Also, we got the fucking shit. I never know how to do this thing. Pantheon. That was fun. Anyways, yeah, no script means I can just kind of be unhinged with this, or not unhinged, but rather discordant, chaotic. Yeah. I think another thing we did great this year was we reached out to people. We started off with Biscuit, Erectus, and Shadow dipped, so we added in Chubby Turtle. We had good friend Waiting in the Wings, who we never got to because no one else dipped. I think that would be a great thing to do. Just have everyone, have like we were in Discord the whole time, right? So we had a Destiny 2 Marathon 2025 Discord, and we had that off to the side. We had the raid chat and the dungeon chat, and so just have like more people waiting in the wings to rotate out as needed. One thing that I didn't do was I did not promote this enough. I had 9 days leading up beforehand. We're on not over on YouTube. It's here on YouTube. That's the wrong verbiage. Anyways, here on YouTube, I had YouTube Shorts one a day going into the marathon, and it was a little bit about the raid boss, like a little like epic narrative sort of thing. Which like all of them ending in like a question, like will we do this, like will they get revenge? And then with the witness it was like no question, it was just a bare statement like we have to do this. Which that was a lot of fun for me to do. I got to finally use a checkpoint bot for the first time in my life. That was really underwhelming. But I think overall, I still really like the marathon. I love the idea. I'm so excited by the Desert Perpetual, the new upcoming raid. I will be day oneing with some people, so over on the Purple app, twitch.tv/DesperateOak48. I will be doing day one campaign. I will be streaming Wednesday. I will be out of town Thursday and Friday for some family emergency stuff. I will be back on Saturday to stream day one. And it should be a good time. I'm not going to get too into the emotional side of things because, if you're familiar with my Twitch, I ask people not to come and chat and trauma dump, so in return, I myself don't do it. This is going to sound like a lie. I have a very healthy relationship with my emotions, and I am able to freely talk that over with the people who I have in my life. This is probably not a bit that should be not a bit. This is probably not a thing that should be in the video, but we all know I'm gonna be too lazy to edit this out. This is all yeah. So overall, I think it was a lot of fun. I still really love it. I would love to do it again next year. I would love to do some more promotions. I would love to come in with just like fully optimized loadouts. The first marathon, I used the exotic in the next activity. So we beat Volta Glass, and I used Vex Mythoclast in Crota's End. We beat Crota's End, I used Necrochasm on Oryx. We beat King's Fall, I used Touch of Malice in Last Wish. Beat Last Wish, I used 1K Voices in Shattered Throne. So from raids to dungeons to raids, whatever exotic was that activities, I would use it in the next one. I don't know if y'all can hear that. The cat is meowing. I'm also deathly allergic to cats, so this whole living situation is going to be a lot of fun. I do want to also... sorry, I'm clearing my thoughts again. I would also like to promote it more. I put out like some TikToks, and again I had the YouTube shorts, but on Twitter and Blue Sky I didn't post anything. Which Desperate48 on both platforms. I am on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Those are like the only places you can find me. So I should have posted more on Twitter and Blue Sky. On like my personal non-Desperate Oak platforms, I definitely should have promoted a little more. Like realistically, that's like Facebook and LinkedIn. So actually, no, I should not have posted about this. Definitely not on LinkedIn. I don't think I will ever post my Twitch to LinkedIn. Business professional me is different from Desperate 48 that you see on the screen, which is also jarring. I've had someone see both sides, and they were like, "Yeah, that was not it, champ." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, it's crazy." Facebook maybe actually, but Facebook also isn't Desperate 48. Facebook is this asshole. Do y'all remember the Ice Bucket challenge? I never could figure out how to upload that video to Facebook, but there's like a video of like 14, 15-year-old me doing the Ice Bucket challenge, and it's like still stuck on my old Windows phone. So if I can ever find that, I might be able to scrounge up that video. By the way, that Windows phone has been destroyed. There's no shot of this video. I could just do it again. I could just dump cold water and ice all over myself. That might be a Twitch stretch goal. I don't fucking know. Sub goal. Monthly sub goal. We do have a monthly sub goal. If you go over to Twitch and you sub, I do 5 push-ups. There's nothing my Twitch chat loves more than making me do push-ups. It's almost a game. They've turned it into an art. They will redeem 10, and then after I do them, the second I sit down, they're like, here's 3 more. They've turned it into a game, and I always make a big fuss about it. But I am very thankful that people stick around to watch me enough to get up those channel points. There's other things you can redeem, though. Doesn't have to be just push-ups. We can... Anyways. Yeah, so I think overall, will I do this again? I would love to do this again. I would love, love, love to do this again. Will I implement skip tokens? That's kind of going to be a conversation with the team, whoever ends up doing it, right? Am I going to do a loadout challenge where I swap weapons a bunch? Probably not. It's too long. It's too long to be coming in with unoptimized loadouts. I think next year, if we do it again, I think the challenge is speed strats forever. Not like no out of bounds net limiting shit, like actually doing the encounters, but like doing them quickly. Like not exploits within the game, but just like how fast can we actually run through a full thing. The Riven Cheese, probably, most likely. I love the Riven encounter. It's a lot of fun. It's very interesting. It's very hands-on. But if we're going to do every Destiny 2 raid and dungeon in one sitting, in one go, uninterrupted, in one stream, and we can do the Riven Cheese, why not? I think that, like, there are times where we will just want and need to cut time down. Like in Shattered Throne, we were like, we got to the point where we were like, hey, once you get there, start it, we'll quickly wipe and we'll just go. So like next year, I think the challenge is just be fast. Not necessarily speed run. I think that might be the wrong word, because there's like a whole gaming culture colloquialism that is speed running, but more just like running through very speedily, like being very quick. Not whatever. You should understand what I mean by now, I hope. I made the joke that next year's is going to be in Dungeons and Destiny, or D and Destiny, the like Destiny tabletop RPG, where instead I just DM a group through all the raids and dungeons in one sitting. We're probably not going to do that. I think that would be a really funny one. But I think, I still enjoy it. I still plan on doing more. It's obviously a conversation. Because, last year was me and King Tao. This year it was me, King Tao, and Rug. We like, these are like, lots of people have joined us for these, right? You can go back and watch the VODs. They're all on YouTube. They're all split up in lots of people come and go and join for these. Like, it's not, but like, for the first year, King Tao and I like put in a bunch of planning. We set the date. We did all the stuff. Like, we were in LFGs and This year it was me, King Tao, and Rug. We like worked on loadouts. We spun a randomized wheel to get what subclass we would use. We grinded to get raid craftable weapons. I missed out on Hezen's Vengeance somehow. Um, so like, tons of people came in and joined. I'm not going to say that it was just the three of us, but for the months leading up to it, it was the three of us like planning it. In our not we wouldn't like set out and be like we're gonna meet on Sunday, but like we would sit there and we'd be like, hey, so I had this idea for this thing coming up, or oh, so it's coming up soon. What do we have left to like, you know, um. So I think that would be something that would be a lot of fun to do. Is you know whoever I end up scheduling it and planning it with, whether it's Kingto and Rug, whether it's Kingto, whether it's just Rug, whether it's just me, some form of thing to make it a little easier on us going into it. Whether it's like a full skip, or maybe we just get a checkpoint and go straight to the boss. I don't know, or whether it's just fully optimized loadouts for each raid, each encounter, and then just full sending it, going as fast as we can through everything. It's a conversation to be had, right? We have, in theory, a year. Because last year we did it right before Final Shape, or the Final Shape came out. This year we did it right before Edge of Fate came out. So who knows at the end of the year of prophecy. So I think I would love to do it again. If I were to give closing statements here, I would love to do it again. I think it would be great. I think it would be a ton of fun. I think there are obviously ways we can improve. And I think if I am to do it again, the number one thing I want to do is figure out how to turn it into a charity stream so that we can actually raise a bunch of money for some cause that I and the Desperate 48 community believe in, right? Who's to say how the year will shake out? Obviously, a lot of things are crazy right now, so we'll see what happens. That being said, I think I've rambled on long enough. This is definitely a lot longer than I thought I would be here. So I'm gonna close out here and go edit this down and make a thumbnail and probably go watch some more Critical Role. I'm on campaign 3 recently. Started it kind of long ago, but I don't have a lot of time on episode 5. Almost halfway through episode 5. Very good so far. But closing statements. I'd love to do this again. I'd love to turn it into a charity stream. I'd like to do it quicker. And I'll see y'all over on Twitch in the upcoming week, tomorrow, when you're seeing this. If you see it the day it came out, tomorrow, Edge of Fate. Come watch me and Kingdo and Rug play through. It should be a good time. My allergies are acting up. I'll see y'all next time.